is a woman, some people might tell you it's a social role, like a postman. It's not, though, because a postman has requirements that people have to meet. I can't just go to the post office and say, today I'm a mail carrier. Mail, please. No, it's not that simple. Not for any other social role that's like a job. And you can't just identify as anything that's on an actual spectrum, like a race. I can't go and identify as Japanese, for example. I don't even think people would be okay with me identifying as Black, even though I have African heritage on my great-grandmother's side. But I can go identify as a man tomorrow. I don't know that anyone would take me seriously, but I could. And I could walk into a gender space and say, hey, it's he, him, please. And people would just accept that there. That's why they call them safe spaces and not sane spaces. But they act like woman has no definable category because, oh, some women are infertile. Some women don't have a uterus. Yes, I know, because on our other channel, we educate about these disorders that result in these issues. But a man can identify as a woman or even non-binary and walk into women's spaces, play in women's sports. But some people, like Kyla, might say, they're a woman in every meaningful way, after all.
Running into this with a friend right now who tries to do war correspondence in countries that don't like trans people. She, in every way, is a woman. Nobody would look at her and think that that person should walk into a male bathroom. But because she's trans, she has an M on her passport, and she now cannot go into multiple very conservative countries. Why on my passport does it need to say for somebody who in every single way, it's like Blair White,
Yeah, sure.
Look at them and say, it looks like a woman.
What does that mean? What does every meaningful way mean? That's just a list of stereotypes. What, because he's feminized himself enough? There are women who are not feminine. They're still women. And you know why? Because we're adult human females. That's it. That's the qualifier. That's the criteria. And no, it doesn't exclude disorders. It includes them. They're only disorders because we know what constitutes an adult human female. And then to act as though a social construct has no definable attributes is absurd. Every role in society has attributes. Everything that we can name has attributes. Even fantasy creatures like dragons and unicorns have attributes. If it looks like a horse and it has a big old horn coming out of its head, that's most likely a unicorn. And if it's not, it has other properties that make it some other mythical creature that's unicorn adjacent. Same thing with a dragon. Reptilian, claws, teeth, wings, can fly? Probably a dragon. In fact, we have things like wyverns that aren't dragons, but are dragon-like. And if something is a dragon or a unicorn that doesn't look like a dragon or a unicorn, let's say some fantasy writer wanted to get cute and made a rabbit and was like, hey, that rabbit right there, that one, that's a dragon. You have to tell me it's a dragon, and it's a purposeful subversion of expectations that only works because I already know what a dragon is. See how that works? So, woman being a social construct doesn't even work the way that you want it to. Sorry, wokies. But this is how language works. We come up with words that describe something. That's how communication works. Every word that we have to describe something is a shorthand for that thing. I don't want to have to sit here and say, hey, that adult female human being over there is standing by your car. Do you know her? No. I say that woman over there is standing by your car. Only adult human females get pregnant. No. Only women get pregnant. It's a shorthand. It's ridiculous to act like it's any more meaningful than that. That this is the thing we're describing and this is the word that it has to describe it. Once that falls apart, then communication falls apart. And when we lose this category, it regresses all of the rights that women have achieved. It regresses all of the spaces that they have claimed for themselves. It regresses all of the progress that we've made into women's health, because now we can't just name it women's health, because now it includes men too. Men who feel like women just 'cause, or men who feminize themselves. So just because someone looks a certain way, has a certain hair length, none of that makes them a woman. And it doesn't make them a woman in a meaningful way either, because hair can be cut, hair can be styled and colored, clothes can be changed, faces can change with surgery or time or injury. So none of that matters. Body parts can change, again, because of injury or surgery or what have you. So even a genital surgery that makes a facsimile of a vagina out of whatever tissue is left over from penile inversion, that doesn't make a woman either. And honestly, that's pretty offensive and regressive to think that that is the same as a vagina. That's ridiculous. And it's medically inaccurate. So, trust the science. And it's incredibly misogynistic to reduce women down into these shallow appearances and into a feeling. I feel like a woman. What does that mean? And I understand dysphoria. I had dysphoria from childhood. I know what it's like to feel like I was born in the wrong body and to desperately want to have another one. But even when I was in the deepest parts of my dysphoria, even when I was super delusional and my friends referred to me as a boy growing up, I still had those creeping thoughts of, do I know what a boy feels like? I'm not a boy, so how would I know? That seems kind of gross, actually, of me to think of it that way. That seems kind of arrogant for me to even have that thought that I could even know what a boy thinks like or feels like. I didn't grow up a boy. I don't know what experiences they've had. I don't know how testosterone and that kind of development affected their brain. So why would I think that I know what it's like to be a boy? And now that my gender dysphoria is essentially cured and I don't feel that way anymore, I know I'm right. I've talked to other adults who didn't fit in as kids, but instead of having gender dysphoria, they developed some other coping mechanism, whether it was healthy or not. And I've learned a lot about myself, and I've learned that a lot of how I felt and how I thought about myself and the world around me is how a lot of other women felt. It's not how a lot of other men felt necessarily. We may have had a similar type of feeling, but the way that we thought about it was very different. The way that we felt was very different. The lens that we were looking through was different. So no, woman is not like a postman. It's not just a social role. There's no meaningful way to be a woman or a girl than to be born female. And honestly, it's really beautiful to grow up and to become an adult of either sex and to go through all of those unique experiences that only men can go through or women can go through. And it's been amazing to learn about all of the incredible things that the female body can do that I've been able to appreciate now that I understand it. It's terrible that we don't talk about that more, that girls don't learn to appreciate and understand those things about their bodies when they're growing up. And the more that we lean into this falsehood, this toxic falsehood that is gender identity, the more harm we're doing incoming generations. Hopefully, this video can help you articulate your feelings about this particular subject, or you can show it to someone and maybe help them see the light. If this video got your blood pressure up, you can get it back down by going to that channel I mentioned earlier, Paradox Institute, and checking out our animated videos, interviews, and more. We are a nonprofit, and you can donate to us to support our work by heading to our website and seeing all of the other things that we've produced. That's paradoxinstitute.org. Thanks for watching.